guys, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am bringing you yet another what I eat in a week video, which have become some of my favorite videos on my channel and some of my most requested. So if you want to watch the full playlist of all of my food related videos, I will put it in the description box for you to check out. I am someone that really likes short intros, but I have to put a disclaimer in here because I got some really wild comments on my last video, and I just want to say I make these videos because I like to cook and I like watching these videos to get more inspiration for cooking and for meal ideas. And I make these videos to spread the message of plant-based eating and that it doesn't have to be difficult and you know, don't have to go all in. You could just try one of these recipes every once in a while, but just kind of leading by example that being more plant-based isn't too difficult. But I have received a lot of comments telling me that I'm eating too much bread, I'm eating too much oil, I'm not eating enough. And I just kind of wanted to briefly state that I don't think anyone is in the place to tell someone else what they should or shouldn't be eating. And I'm not here to tell you that you should be eating exactly the way that I do. I'm just here to show you like an awesome recipe that I found or created and that you should try it out. I'm not here to tell you how to eat. I am purely sharing recipes, sharing love, having a healthy relationship with food, eating intuitively, and not judging or restricting what you're eating or what others are eating, because I know it's very common to have an unhealthy relationship with food, and I'm really lucky to have a healthy relationship with food, but I don't want to make anyone think that the way that I eat is right or the way others eat is wrong. That's just something that I wanted to address really quickly, and now we can get right on into all the delicious food and fun recipes that I made this week. This entire week I worked from home, so there is slightly less meal prepping, but the next one will have that, so stay tuned. Monday, I started out with a fruit bowl of fruit from the farmer's market from the day before, some almond milk, and pumpkin seed granola. This is one of my favorites, and it has a pretty good amount of protein in it, which is why I really like it. It also tastes great. I got it at Whole Foods, but I believe Trader Joe's has it as well. And then after breakfast, I had a peach kombucha from Better Booch, which has become one of my favorite kombuchas lately. It tastes like a Snapple, except not nearly as sweet, so I love that. For lunch, I made a homemade kale Caesar salad, which came from Minimalist Baker. I will put her recipe for the dressing below because I have always loved Caesar salad dressing, and it can be really hard to find one without anchovy. And so I highly recommend this recipe. I will link it below. It had mostly ingredients I had on hand, and it turned out really delicious. Kale can be really boring on its own, but if you put a really thick, creamy, delicious sauce on it, like, you will eat the entire bag, trust me. And then I topped it with some sunflower seeds for some crunch and protein as well. This would be so good with croutons, but I did not have any. For dinner, my friends came over and we had a little pizza party. This is just a pre-made crust from Trader Joe's, topped with follow your heart cheese, some mushrooms that I cooked on a pan, and then just put in the oven for like 6 minutes. Friends not pictured, but they did help me eat it. Tuesday, I started off my morning with a delicious chai latte. This is the mix that I use, and I just pour some hot almond milk over the top. You can see me FaceTiming while I was doing that, so I don't think I actually got a clip of me pouring it, but I will link it in the description. I know you guys really like this product as well. And then I had some toast, but I didn't have enough avocado for both slices, so I had 1/2 avocado toast and 1/2 toast with this strawberry and rose fruit spread from Trader Joe's. The checker recommended it to me actually, and I really, really like it. So I highly recommend if you're a fan of strawberries or rose. It would be really good on a PB&J. I haven't tried that yet. For lunch, I had a little soup and salad combo with some leftover kale Caesar salad and some tomato soup with oyster crackers on top. I used to love oyster crackers growing up, and I still love them. They make me feel like a kid again. For dinner on Tuesday, Danny and I had a little pasta dinner date night, and I taught him how to make tomato sauce from scratch. So I will teach you guys as well, but the first thing you want to do is heat up some olive oil in a heavy bottom pan and then caramelize your onions until they are transparent. I used about 1/2 of a sweet onion, and then I put a very large tablespoon of garlic in the bottom once the onion was done and waited until that caramelized. I also added some thyme and oregano while it is hot, so it releases the oil from those dried seasonings, and then you're gonna add in your tomatoes. And to be honest, this is probably the most important part. This specific can of tomatoes, the Cento San Marzanos, are the perfect plum tomato for any sauce, any curry, pretty much anything. My mom swears by them, and you can buy them at Trader Joe's, Ralph's, pretty much anywhere, but they are the go-to. They are the classic. Then you're just gonna let it cook for about 20 or 30 minutes until it tastes right. You can also add a little bit of raw sugar if it needs it, so I did that. Then just put it on your noodle of choice. We wilted some spinach, and it was a delicious date night meal that resulted in leftovers for both of us, which is honestly such a pro tip. For breakfast on Wednesday, I started out with some chamomile tea and some oatmeal with dried blueberries. These are the wild blueberries from Trader Joe's. I also put some chia seeds on top because protein and stuff. For lunch, I had my pasta leftovers from the night before, and they were equally delicious. And then after working the entire day, I really just wanted to play some music and cook alone, and so that is exactly what I did. I went to Whole Foods, grabbed some ingredients, and then I made myself a Moscow Mule, which is basically just ginger beer and lime juice. If you want it to be a classic Moscow Mule, just add 1 to 2 shots of vodka and you are good to go. It is so delicious. It is one of my favorites, like I said. Drink in hand, now I started cooking. I made some basmati rice. I assume you know how to make rice, but if not, you're gonna wash it and then do 1 part rice to 2 parts liquid. Then I prepped some jackfruit, and I've since learned that it is a lot easier to cut it up in small pieces before you cook it as opposed to breaking it down after. I showed you guys how I made barbecue jackfruit before, which was super easy, but this time I wanted to try out carnitas jackfruit because that is probably my favorite way to eat it. And it was very simple. You pretty much just saute your onion, add in your jackfruit, and then add in a ton of spices, which thankfully I had most of them: paprika, cumin, garlic powder, chili powder, and you're gonna just stew that with some water for about 20 or 30 minutes. While that was cooking, I chopped up some cilantro and juiced 2 limes to add to my rice for some amazing cilantro lime rice to pair with the jackfruit. No real recipe to that, just kind of add based on however you like it. I also drained some black beans and then just prepped this little bowl, which was so good. I ate this for days in a row because it made so many leftovers, and I was very, very happy about that. Thursday morning, I had a meeting, so I made a to-go breakfast of whole wheat toast with almond butter, and I poured half of a kombucha in a to-go jar. I have a hard time drinking an entire kombucha. They are 2 servings, and so that's just how I will take half of it with me. It's weird, I know. And then I took a Cliff Bar with me in case I got hungry, which I usually do, so I kind of tend to carry those around with me just in case. And then for lunch, I had some soup from the farmer's market, which I just kept in the freezer since Sunday, and I already want to go back to that farmer's market stand and snatch it right up. It was so delicious. I know it's really hard for soups to look delicious on camera, but it was so good. I wish I could make that. I need to tackle soups in the future. My mom is really good at making soups. And then for dinner, I took my leftovers from the night before and put them in a tortilla. I know, groundbreaking, turning your leftovers into a burrito, but I did that and I ate 2 of them. I know it only shows me wrapping up 1, but that's just because I was hungry, I was in a hurry, but I ended up eating at least 2 of those with some hot sauce on top, and it was delicious. Friday, I had toast yet again, but this was with crunchy almond butter and some figs. I love figs. And then Danny had some buttered toast with raspberry jam. It was his birthday, actually, so he says hello. We had late lunch / early dinner plans. So I got hungry and I made a rice cracker with some cilantro jalapeno hummus, also from the farmer's market. And this is probably also what I ate in between meals throughout the week. I just didn't happen to get clips, but I love rice cakes and hummus together. And then for dinner, I forgot to get footage even though I brought my vlog camera. We went to this delicious restaurant in Pico, which is called Hasiba, and it is an entirely vegetarian Israeli restaurant, and they had the best falafel and hummus I have ever eaten in my entire life, which is saying a lot because I eat a lot of falafel and a lot of hummus, but it was incredible. And so here's some photos, but I had a great time. It was It was so good. So there you have it, a week of food in my life, but I actually have one secret special recipe left over for you guys that I made on the weekend and I recorded and I didn't know where else to put it, so I'm going to show you now. I made some delicious orange cranberry scones and I made them in my food processor. It was super easy and I highly recommend using a food processor for pastry. It was the first time I ever made scones and it took like no time at all, so I'll see if I can find the recipe online, but it was actually from a cookbook, so feel free to just screenshot the page where you can see the cookbook and you can try it out yourself. Who doesn't love scones with some tea in the morning? Voiceover over. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is an entire week of what I eat and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be sure to make more videos like this in the future and feel free to leave a comment if you tried out any of my recipes before because I love seeing that. And I will see you guys all soon. Bye guys.